Guy digs a huge hole in his backyard and ends up driving his neighbors wild with jealousy. Do-it-yourself projects can be a rewarding way to spend your time, especially if you're building something you're passionate about. However, when one man started digging a giant hole in his backyard, his neighbors thought he'd lost his mind. Little did they know he'd actually planned one of the most ambitious backyard construction projects of all time. When he was finished, their anger was quickly replaced by burning jealousy. Do-it-yourself projects can be a great way to spend your time, and for Wayne Martin, it wasn't only fun, it was a dream come true. In order to put it together, Wayne had to purchase an enormous 20-foot shipping container, which piqued the interest of his neighbors. What was he going to do with a giant container? Once it arrived, Wayne wasted no time in sealing the double doors at the end and installed a swinging door on the opposite side. He made the door roughly the same size as the ones in his own home. The next step involved digging a massive hole in his yard. Wayne made the hole at least 2 feet deeper than the height of the container so he could cover it with dirt. He then put a 6-inch layer of peat gravel at the bottom so the container wouldn't sink. What the heck was he constructing? Wayne knew there was no way he'd be able to lift the massive container on his own, so he hired a septic tank company to place the metal box into the hole. The operation was slow-moving, but the container fit perfectly. Wayne was thrilled that the hole was the exact size he needed it to be for his project. He left about 2 feet of space on all sides and a few feet in front of the swinging door. His DIY project was coming along flawlessly. Wayne also made a hole for a sump pump right inside the front door of the container. He knew he needed to be careful or else the entire area could flood. The sump pump would come in handy if that ever happened. Next, he carefully installed a set of concrete steps, making sure the top stair was level with the top of the container. He wanted the stairway to be wide enough too so anyone would be able to walk up and down without a problem. Wayne then installed 2 I-beams, keeping them level with the stairs and the container top. These I-beams were going to prove to be a vital element for the next step of the project. After the I-beams were in place, Wayne added more framework to support the roof. The project was finally starting to come together. It took a while, but Wayne could nearly see the finish line now. Do you know what he was making? The next thing Wayne did was lay massive strips of corrugated metal across the width of the hole. This would ensure that there was enough support on the roof of the container to hold up the dirt that would eventually cover it. Wayne then welded rebar along the outside of the entrance. He knew he would be placing large cinder blocks along the rim as well, so he spaced the rebar equally to ensure the cinder blocks would align properly. Wayne then placed the cinder blocks over the rebar so the metal rods ran through the bar's center. Next, he filled all the blocks' openings with concrete, taking care to make sure it was spread evenly. Then came 2 12-inch air vents that would be installed at the front and rear of the shipping container, in addition to several 2-inch PVC stubs that would eventually be used for utilities. Clearly, someone was going to spend time in this space. Now it came time for the grueling part, beginning the first mix of many concrete pours. Wayne and his crew made tons of wet concrete mixing, and after they meticulously planned out the pouring process, they started to slowly spread the mixture. Whenever you work with wet cement, you have to be incredibly careful so you don't become stuck. Thankfully, Wayne's team knew what they were doing. After 6 inches of concrete covered the top area, they smoothed it all out. Wayne then began working with the cinder blocks again. He stacked them layer by layer until the entire rim was level with the surrounding land. This was shaping up to be a huge project, but the end result would totally be worth it. After the cinder block opening was level with the rest of his yard, Wayne brought in soil to fill the hole around the container. The soil needed to be healthy since he wanted to plant trees on top of the area to conceal it. Can you tell what this would be yet? One of the final steps involved stuccoing the bare rock walls that line the stairs into the front of the container. The stucco would provide a solid, durable exterior that required little maintenance. As a bonus, it was also fire resistant. After the stucco was placed all along the rock interior, Wayne removed the wooden support beams that had been holding up the corrugated metal roof. Now that the cement had hardened, he no longer needed them. Wayne sure did put a lot of work into this special DIY project, but believe it or not, it wasn't a bunker or a bomb shelter. Watch his footage to see his last steps and, of course, what he ended up using it for. Would you make one of these in your own backyard? Of all the backyard DIY projects we've seen, this one really takes the cake. Imagine having something this cool just steps from your house. Share this awesome DIY underground shelter with your friends below.